Hi, preschool friends. I'm so excited to share with you this special activity today. We're going to learn a little bit of math and a little bit of science with some paint. I love painting. Do you love painting? I hope you do. We're going to learn a little bit about mixing up some paint and making new colors. And while we're doing that, we're going to be learning a little bit about shapes. Do you know any shapes? Do you see any shapes around in your room or at your home? Do you have any shapes on your shirt? I'm going to show you some shapes that I have here on my paper. Now, these are special shapes because they look a little different. Okay, these shapes that I have here are doubled up. Do you see any shapes on these pictures? I drew these on a piece of paper. For this activity, you're going to need a piece of paper. It can be cardstock or regular, just plain blank paper, a marker, some primary colors of paint. You can use paintbrushes or you can use your fingers. Either one works. Now you also need a friend, and this friend can be your grown-up, it can be your sibling, it can be your grandma or your grandpa or your aunt or your uncle or your neighbor, anyone. This activity is called friendship shape painting. It's one of my favorite activities, and I can't wait for you to try it. Okay, what we're going to do is you and a friend are going to sit side by side right next to each other. I'm going to first pick this shape here. Do you know what shape this is? If you trace this line, that's right, it's a circle. This one's a circle and this one's a circle, but look, there's a space in between. Now this space, we're not going to touch. We're going to leave it blank for right now. So what you want to do is get your paint and you can choose one color and your friend, your partner can choose another color. Now I chose primary colors, grown-ups, because when they're mixed together, it makes a brand new color that's very pretty and beautiful. You can choose any three colors that you or your child, your preschooler wants to use, but we're going to use these three colors today. All right, so I'm going to choose yellow. I'm going to put my brush in the yellow, and I'm going to pick one side. So first, I'm going to put my name here, and my name is Amy. So I'm going to write it down here. It's going to be upside down for you. And then my friend's name over here, I'm going to put Henry. Okay? So that way you can see who painted, which shape. And then it's going to be a little bit of a magic trick in a little bit. So I'm going to pick yellow. So I'm going to paint as much of just this side as I can and try and stay and make your circle. Now, remember, don't paint that part. Now, Henry is going to pick, let's have him pick blue. My friend Henry loves, loves, loves blue. So he's going to paint in here. Okay, or your grown-up, or your neighbor, anybody that you can paint with you. Okay, now remember, we're going to leave that part empty. Okay, now, do you know what a friend is? A friend is someone that you play with or that you have something in common, which means something that you both like to do. I really love to play with blocks, and I love to play with cars. And my friend Henry, he loves to play with blocks and cars too. What's something that you like to play with, and what's something that your grown-up likes to play with or your friend next to you? Think about it. Think. What do you both love to do together? That's what friends do. They play together and they talk together and they do paint projects together. So, but you know what? Sometimes friends like different things too. Like my friend Henry here loves blue, but I love yellow. But you know what happens when we bring blue and yellow together? Let's see. We're both going to paint at the same time in the middle. And we're going to paint and we're going to mix. What happened? Friend, do you see what happened? We made another color. What color did we make? That's right, we made green. When we mix yellow and blue together, we make green. What do you think would happen if we mixed blue and red? What do you think would happen if we mixed red and yellow? What do you think? Do you think it would change another color? Let's find out. I've got another one here. Okay, so here's my first friendship painting with Henry. Now, grown-ups, if you're preschooler or if you do not want to do paint in your house, don't worry. I have a great idea. You're going to need a Ziploc baggie and your shapes. So I already dotted some paint on here, and I'm going to stick it in this bag. And I will show you this way that we can paint without making a mess, without getting paint everywhere and on your clothes and on your eyeballs and on your carpet. So we're going to stick this inside of the Ziploc bag. Okay, and try and get all the air out as much as you can. Now, we're going to squish it with our fingers. And squish and squish and squish as much as we can. This is amazing fine motor work. Working those muscles in your fingers. Squish, squish, squish. Okay, now let's have our other friend over here. Squish this paint around. Squish, 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 squish. Try and get it as much spread out as you can. Now let's squish together to make the next color. What color do you think it's going to make? Let's find out. Let's see. Squish together. Squish, 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 squish. Squish, squish, squish. Rub, 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 rub. Can you tell? Can you tell what it made? Let's take it out of the bag and we can look and see. This is a great way to be able to do processed art at home without making a huge mess or in the classroom. We're just going to take it out of the bag and look. So gorgeous. What color did we make in the middle? Do you see any purple here? Right around here, where it mixed really good. We got some purple in there. I love it. It's so beautiful. Now remember, when we're doing this lesson, we're talking a lot about social emotional learning, and we're talking about making friendships and making connections with not only adults, but children. We're also talking about math. Did you know that shapes are math? Yes, basic shapes, and teaching your child basic shapes by showing them pictures, having them outline shapes, having them trace them with their hands, and by painting them is a great introduction to shapes. We also talked a little bit about science. What do you think would happen if we did this? What do you think would happen if we added more paint or added another color? What would happen if we added a third color? What would happen if we used a different color paper? Those are all great things, open-ended questions that you can ask your preschooler to help them think a little more and a little bigger. I hope that you have a blast with this activity, and I can't wait for you to try it. Hi, preschool families and friends. Remember to click the link below where you will find my lesson plan laid out in a little bit more detail and some more examples of open-ended questions that you can ask your preschooler throughout this activity.